Okay, a quick lesson on box and whisker plots. You can see there's a lot of stuff that's highlighted here, so please copy that down. I know it's more than usual, so I apologize for that. But there are certain pieces to a box and whisker plot that we need to know. The good news is we've already talked about the steps it takes to actually start making it, as you'll see. So this says that data can be organized and displayed by dividing a set of data into 4 parts using the median and quartiles. So that's exactly what we talked about in the last lesson, or in lesson 012, talking about quartiles and the median. So we're going to use that same information. And when we put all that together in a plot, it's actually called a box and whisker plot. I'll show you what that looks like. There's also this term called the interquartile range, and it is the difference between your upper and lower quartiles. So remember how the range of any set of data is the highest point minus the lowest point. Well, the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. Not a huge reason to use it other than to check for something called an outlier. An outlier is data that is 1.5 times the value of the interquartile range beyond a quartile. Now that's kind of a weird definition. I'll show you what that actually means once we make our plot. But basically what an outlier is it's data that doesn't fit or data that doesn't appear to fit with the rest of the data. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so given this information, these numbers here, let's actually just look at what a box and whisker plot looks like. Okay, so first thing we got to do is always order everything. So we need to find the median, and then we got to find the first quartile and the third quartile, or upper and lower. Okay. So to find the first median, remember it's the middle number, so I'm going to do some underlining here. And we'll come down to a number in the middle. And we actually do come to one number in the middle, which is nice. Otherwise, we'd average them, as we saw in class a couple days ago. Right, so this is Q2, or the same thing as the median. So our median is 18. All right, now we're going to find the first quartile, or the lower quartile, using the first half of our data. And that's just finding the median of the first half of the data. So 14 is going to be Q1, or first quartile, or the lower quartile. So we have that. All right, then we're going to do the same thing for the second half of the data. And 20. This is Q3. Okay, now we have all the pieces we need to make a box and whisker plot. So the first thing you kind of want to look at once you have your Q1, Q2, Q3 is to look at your highest and lowest numbers. So we have 8 as our lowest number and 30 is our highest number, or highest point in our data set. So we'll want to kind of put those in a number line, and I went up by 2s. So 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and all the way up to 30. Okay, so I have my lowest, my highest in there. And then here's what we're going to do with our quartiles. So the median is 18. I'm going to put a line, a vertical, well not a line, a vertical segment right on 18. We're actually going to form a box with these quartiles. So then my Q1, which is 14, I'm going to put a line right there. Sorry, a segment. Got to be specific, right? All right, and then my Q3, or upper quartile, is 20. So I'll put a line segment right there. Now, those represent Q1 is the green, the median is red, and then Q3, or the upper quartile, is the blue. And we're just going to form a box with those. All right, so we have a box. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have a box. And then we have to put on our whiskers as well. So the whisker part comes from checking out if we have outliers or not. Okay, so remember the definition says 1.5 times the value of the interquartile range. All right, so first we have to find the interquartile range, which would be Q3 minus Q1. Or our Q3 is 20, Q1 is 14. So we get 6. All right, and we're going to take that times 1.5. So I'm just going to do this. 1.5 is the same as 3 over 2. So we get 9 over 1, or just 9. Okay, so 1.5 times the interquartile range is 9. So we're going to go from the end of our box, and I'm going to take 14 minus 9. Well, 14 minus 9 is 5, which is further beyond 8. So all of my data fits on the left side, and it's okay. Nothing is an outlier, meaning I can connect a whisker right here. So I'm going to extend a whisker out to 8, and that's my lowest point. Okay? All right, now, but if I take 9 and I add it to this, 20, I get 29. Okay? Not all of my data fits in there. Okay? 30 is beyond 29. Right? So we would then consider 30 to be an outlier, which means we're just not going to extend a whisker to it. We're going to go to the next closest number to the Q3, which is 22. Right here, and there we go. There's the official whisker, and 30 is still a part of our data set, except for it's an outlier. It's a point that doesn't appear to belong with the rest of the data. And as you can see, it's pretty far to the right side. That's how you technically look and check and see if it's an outlier. But usually you can just look at your data on the plot and look at 30 and say, okay, that's pretty far away from the rest of my data. It's probably an outlier. But you can always check the technical way if need be. But anyway, this is how you create a box in Whisker Plot.